Hello, everyone, and welcome to Central Command. Today, we have an amazing topic that it's called recruitment centers. The idea of today's agenda is to cover three main things. First, I'm going to explain you the importance and relevance about recruitment centers and how we think this will change the future of gaming for us that are, thinking about fighting with superpowers in real life, going outside, find our teammates. The second point of the agenda is that today we have two amazing guests. This time, I'm the host, and they will be our guests because they are the owners of recruitment centers. And I want to talk to them with you to understand where they are standing, what are their plans for the recruitment centers, where they're going to be, and if they will go competitive, if they are looking more to just gather a community to have fun and stuff like that, in order for you to understand the relevance of them and how they will work and how can you get related to them. Even if you have a caster gear or you don't, at the end, the recruitment centers is this place where we gather. And the third point of the agenda is that we will have a Q&A. So feel free to post your questions. If you do it when the Q&A starts, it will be easier because then I will be able to read them. If you start just writing right now, they can be missed out there. So let's just jump ahead and let's start with recruitment centers. But before that, I have a surprise for you. So last live, the launching party, we were talking about game modes. And we realized that a lot of you have tons of amazing ideas of game modes. What's a game mode? Meaning Battle Royale is a game mode, a MOBA style is a game mode, duels is a game mode. So any kind of idea that you have that can be done with the technology, the caster gear, superpowers, universal particles is a game mode. So this is what we're going to do. Tomorrow morning, we will release the full details. This is just a quick announcement. And we will set a challenge for you. The idea of this challenge is for you to design the game mode or the game modes of your dreams. We will release it. There will be some rules. You will need to create your own game mode. And after that, before we close the Kickstarter, we will have a party, the closing party, that it will also be announced tomorrow morning. Well, and the winners will be announced there. What can you win if you win this challenge? Well, okay. As you remember, the delivery timeline, the caster year will take about a year, somewhere in April. We will start the deliveries, but Recruitment Center will start operating in October, December, and January to March. Therefore, if you win this tournament, this challenge, or if you are one of the winners, though all the details will be tomorrow, you will receive two Recruitment Center Season Zero passes, meaning you will be able to go to our recruitment centers where we place them, and you will be testing the EPONs, playing with the developers, with the owners of the recruitment centers, and such. So make sure you tell us about your game mode and, well, fulfill this challenge to see you on the field as promised. Let's then dive into recruitment centers. And some people doesn't really understand the importance of recruitment centers. At the end, we are promising one thing. The bone is about superpowers, to have superpowers in real life. And to get that, we need to have a lot of stuff going on at the same time to fulfill this dream that we are doing it now. Before we go into recruitment center, that it's a big thing, let's remember something. The bone is about you. For the first time in your life, you are actually the main character of this game, the center of you, the universe. Everything goes around you, meaning the world is your stage and it's meant to be explored. It doesn't matter if it's about a quest, about universal particles, about grinding, about playing versus other players. The world is your stage and it has to be explored. You will explore it to gather achievement rewards because the world is for you to conquer, and you as the main center of this experience. And everything that it's meant to be conquered, it's about your decisions. It's about your autonomy. Everything you decide to do or you decide not to do, it will affect your game. And naturally, this is a social environment. Either you have a house, you have a team, or you're the kind of player that decides that you don't want to belong anywhere, and you go, you fight, and then you go home. It's okay. But remember that in a game that it's in real life, you will naturally get allies and enemies. But you still the center of the universe with one promise, the idea of having superpowers in real life. Therefore, the bone, if you think it, it's about mastery. It's about getting better every day. It's about training. It's about that getting better on casting, getting better on mobile combat, leveling up your powers, have all that experience. It's about the idea of belonging with recruitment centers, with houses, with guilds, with everything. You are a, a person in this community that represents something in this society. And last but not least, the idea of autonomy. In real life, you don't have control C. What you do, it's done, and it should be treated that way. You, as the center of the universe, in this experience of having superpowers, you will mastery the combat, the powers, the universal particles. You will belong either to a team, to a house, or you will decide not to belong to anywhere, and you will just go and play and fight. And every decision you take, it will be your responsibility, and well, you will decide everything that goes around it. Now, the world is really big, and you are the main character of your own story. But naturally, there are a lot of players out there. Either they become your allies, neutrals, or your enemies. The idea of fighting in real life, the promise of being outside with these powers and feeling it for real with you as a main character implies that we need to some sort of organize in one way. And that is the idea of a recruitment center. A recruitment center is a place, a physical place in the world where the owners have custom gears and certain conditions to create and gather the community. Therefore, if you live in any state or any city, you will probably be going to a recruitment center next to you to gather with the people that have the same interest as that you, to fight with that people in competitive training or just for fun way and stuff like that. So if you think it, a recruitment center is super simple to understand. It's a click in the app. In one side, you as a user will find via GPS where are recruitment centers near you. Because remember, recruitment centers can be mobile. They are not necessarily physical places. So with a click on the app, you will be able to find them. And in the other side, the owners of the recruitment centers will be able to create, organize events, and a lot of organizing skills that will be placing that up for you to try to gather and do stuff. What can you do actually in a recruitment center? Well, left to right, let's start with play and gather. Well, the first thing is the easiest one. Like, just go there. You will find people that like the idea of having superpowers. You will be able to play, to explore, and to trade. This is basic. Trading in the bone, probably, I don't want to say all the assets, but probably the most of the assets would be tradable. But this trade needs to be in person because remember, we are in real life and the world is our stage and we live inside this huge network society. So it's a great place to do that. Also, PBE cooperative content. Some of you doesn't know, but a recruitment center is a great place to have this cooperative content. Not everything is about PvP. Sometimes you will have some quests where you need to fulfill with your teammates. Maybe you need to defeat a boss. But that boss is really hard to do it by yourself. So maybe gathering a team of 5 to do it and fulfill that quest will be the option. You will have houses, meaning the idea of guilds, but in real life. And recruitment centers are great places to gather there in physical and continue your adventure. And last is naturally the PvP environment. This is Some recruitment centers will like to focus on being PvP, on being competitive, on the idea of training. If you come to this recruitment center, it's about getting better because we have this league next, I don't know, Saturday and Sunday. And recruitment centers will have to decide, the owners, not the developers, the owners of the recruitment centers will decide if they want to focus on PvP and be extremely competitive, if they want to have just fun and gather and have PvE content, if they want to have a mix of all that. If you think it, a recruitment center then have their own story. Each recruitment center is unique. They will define, the owners, the commanders of each recruitment centers, the story they want to tell within their own system. Naturally, they will have their own purpose, competitive, PvE, trading, whatever they want to. They will also have their own community because this is kind of local. So naturally, you will have in the future, well, you can be able to decide if I want to go to one recruitment or to another or belong to one. They will gather their own community with their own goals and rules. And one really cool thing is their own reward system. The recruitment centers have a sigil, the sigil that represents them. You as a player will be able to obtain the sigils of each recruitment center. Now, how will you obtain it? Well, that depends on the commander and the decisions they make. For example, if you are in a recruitment center that is really competitive, probably they will ask you to win a tournament to obtain a sigil. If you are in a recruitment center that it's all about gathering and trading, they can actually tell you you need to perform at least 100 trades here to get my sigil. The idea for you is to experiment because each recruitment center will have their own unique experience, and that it's extremely important. Now, how big? It's big. This is an actual graph of the last 30 days of people within the United States that are connected to Central Command, meaning they made a login. What I'm trying to tell you with this is that we're already a huge community, thousands of people all around the world logging in, waiting for this to happen. All these people will end up going into a recruitment center or gathering in some way to play. Uh, Even if it's not necessarily reflected in Kickstarter, with people buying their caster gear, it's fine. I know because you told me, or you told some of the bots that you're waiting until the game to be released to participate, and it's fine as long as you're part of this community. As you can see, we are thousands and thousands of people around the world. And when I mean thousands of people around the world, I mean it. We have people from Canada to Australia, Europe, and Latin America. And we have already, uh, I'm going to say, more than 15 recruitment centers all over America. And we are trying to go to Europe also. Well, with this in mind, uh, and understanding why recruitment centers, you have seen all the people, we need to gather them because we are a lot of us. Right now, the app is not there, the recruitment centers are not there, but we are building them. And the idea of to building them is for you to eventually test them. Now, I don't want to keep talking because now that you completely understand what is a recruitment center, I have two very special guests. Each of them have, I believe, a completely different vision of of how they want to treat and what they want to achieve with their recruitment center. So let me introduce him first. You probably know him, leader of the house, Thunderstrike, uh, owner of the recruitment center. With us here is Pierce Page. How's everything going?
Hello, everything's going really well. Thank you for having me today.
My pleasure. So, for everyone you to know, Percy is the owner of Thunderstrike. The recruitment center is bigger than a house. He's a really active member from the community. We will ask them questions later. But our second guest, a really good friend. I have met him in person. I have fight with him. I let in the video. He's like, I won. I let him won. So if he says the contrary, that's not true. Probably you know him from YouTube. He is an amazing guy. You know him as Mr. Fuerza. So, what up, Mr. Fuerza? Oh, I think it's freeze.
Hey,
Maybe. There you go.
can you
Okay, people will start
there we
believing you're.
go.
Okay, cool. Well, many
Can
of
y'all
you
hear me all right? I might.
we can. You have some sort of delay, I believe, probably an internet connection or something, but it's fine. So as you know, Fuerza also has a recruitment center. He is the owner of it, and let's just jump into the questions really fast. Um, Pierce, so please explain us about your recruitment center, the naming you're thinking. Uh, if it will stay as a thunderstrike, if you are thinking of change it, and also where do you think the location or locations of your recruitment center will be set?
So I am planning to have it be Thunderstrike. It will be an extension of the guild of the house. Um, that that's the plan right now. That may change. Maybe some other people in the house have comments and don't want to necessarily be tied to a specific recruitment center or something. But that is the plan for right now. The locations, like I've said in the last live stream, I believe, I live in New England. I live in Massachusetts, which is up in the northeast of the United States. But I go to college in Indiana, which is in the Midwest. So I will probably have a seasonal recruitment center of sorts where some of the time, like my summers and vacations, will be in Massachusetts or in New York, Connecticut, that area. And the main school year, I will be down in Indiana. That is the
Okay,
plan right
cool.
now.
So you will have for at least a couple of years recruitment a moving recruitment center
Correct.
before you settle down in one place, and then you'll see from there.
Exactly.
And one thing that everyone should know is that this is the beauty about recruitment centers. In the past, we were used to of having a building or some sort of place where if you want to go ice skating, well, you need to go to a specific place, or bowling, you need to go there. The cool thing about playing in real life is that if the world is our stage, well, we can move, right? And that's a plan for Thunderstrike. Now, Forza, um, how about you? What do you plan to establish your recruitment center?
So, my recruitment center is going to be in San Antonio, and the and it's going to probably just stay in San Antonio. I don't really. I mean, I travel, and maybe as we develop a community, any of those things, you get kind of the groupies, the people that kind of come all the time, and this is part of their life. Uh, we might all go on a trip and do something crazy, and I don't know where
Oh,
we're gonna go, but I think for the most part, if you're wanting to find, our recruitment center, it's going to be mostly. Well, it also depends how much it grows, right? Because right now we're starting off. We're gonna, as soon as the game is released, we'll start off with, I think, around 14 to 16 headsets, because some of my friends also bought some in addition to my 12. And so, we'll start off with that. But, as you grow, as you get more people in your house that have more headsets, who knows how we might expand it. So, but right now, there's no plans outside of San Antonio.
and let me continue then with you. Do you plan to have a competitive, like extremely competitive recruitment center, more like a content creator recruitment center? And let me explain why. The other day, I was hearing this guy with this great idea that owns a recruitment center, and he was like, we can make an Avengers movie each fight because you have the first person view of players. So, well, how about if we create a recruitment center for people to come and create content, and everything is set up that way with cameras and stuff, so we can create content? And I thought, whoa, that's actually pretty crazy but cool idea. And you're actually a YouTuber, so what are you planning with your recruitment center? in that
Well,
sense.
I definitely plan to have some, stuff set up, cameras. My brother-in-law just gave me a drone that I'm planning on, getting some aerial footage. I'm getting my unmanned pilot's license right now, so I can use it for commercial footage. And definitely one of the things I'm really excited about is kind of like, okay, guys, this game's gonna be filmed. If you have a problem with, it's not like people can see each other's faces anyway. So, like if you're having a problem with being on camera, then sit this game out. But and then we'll play a game, and it'll just be like all the other games. But the drone will be flying, and we'll have cameras set up. Um, and that will be part of something I post on my gameplay channel. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about doing that. I've already bought the stuff to set myself up with to mic myself outside. I haven't used it yet, but I'm slowly getting ready to be able to have better audio outside, have better video outside, and so that will be part of my recruitment center, but it won't be the defining aspect. I'm not going to be the leader of my house/recruitment center, just because I've realized I'm just too busy to be clan leaders and recruitment center, the house leaders, like all those things. Um, and so I usually find someone who's a fan, who's I can trust, that kind of runs those things for me. And I've got a guy in San Antonio who's really excited about it as well, and so he's going to kind of be running that. And as he runs that, like, he's going to accommodate for me because it's a lot of my gear, but he's also going to develop the culture as it goes. And really, I feel like a good community leader follows the flow, the ebbs and flow of where his community is leaning, and goes with that. And so I do not see us being just a PvE, definitely not. But we might have a big portion of that. I'd be surprised, but maybe it'll be a big portion of trading and that kind of network. But I can also just see a lot of like playing the game. I think it'll mostly be for entertainment, but if again, like, let's say five people show up and they're just like really competitive and they're really good and they've figured out how to be good, that can change the whole community. Everyone starts learning their tricks. Oh, you see how Brian did this? It was so good. It's so smart. He beats everyone. I'm going to start doing it now, and now I'm getting better. And then the whole community just starts pushing towards excellence and becomes this, amazing, PvP combat group. And it's not something you necessarily tried for. In fact, sometimes when you try for it the hardest, it fails. But when it happens naturally, you can all of a sudden you can find yourself being like, yeah, we're the best out there, just because these 5 people had this system, and that pushed us all to start thinking of new ideas. And
makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're just going to try to be pretty flexible as far as we like all the aspects, and so what we push the hardest is still to be determined.
Nice. I believe we have some sort of delay there. So first, if you suddenly hear me, it's because there's a delay. So what about you, Pierce? What do you think? Do you want to push it? Do you want to be driven by the community? Are you expecting to be really competitive and eventually have esports and winning leagues? What about that?
Well, I certainly agree with Forza about you need to follow the community. We're so far out from it at the moment. Yes. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Just we'll jump in again.
Once we actually get the gear and we actually can start like introducing people and having people come to the recruitment centers, I'm sure that all of the plans will start to be a little more focused when we
Hmm.
figure out what people are wanting to do, see the people who are coming, what they're focusing on. So I do think it's certainly following the community. Everyone knows, or if you don't know, I am a big fan of the lore, and I think that there's a lot of good lore possibilities with the quests and with the PVE. So I'm excited for those. So I could certainly see my recruitment center having a lot of quests, quest based. But like you said, it's this is real life, and so the people who come could have a completely different idea.
Yeah.
So it'll certainly depend with maybe I am the only one in my area who likes quests. Okay, then we'll go with whatever people are wanting to do. Um,
Yeah, you can go to another recruitment center to do quests, and in your recruitment center have PvP.
exactly. Yeah,
Very competitive thing.
it'll certainly be interesting to see, and that's one thing that you mentioned in the beginning about they're all going to be different. They're all going to have their own experiences, their own communities. Every community is different in real life, and so it's great that that will be how the recruitment centers will work too.
Cool. And what about are you planning to have like a 24/7? Well, but two questions for both of you. It's like kind of a do you are planning to have schedules, or do you are you planning to have, hey, we're gonna have this one here in this place, and the other one probably Pierce already answered that, but is are you planning to have like a physical location so everyone can gather there?
So I think eventually I will certainly want to, or at least my thought is to have some type of physical location that will be open. Probably not 24/7, but will be open during normal business hours. And people can come and trade and train and do things like that. To at the beginning, I certainly think it will be scheduled. One thing that I've been thinking of is to have a request sort of concept where kind of
Mhm.
like how you can order a bounce house for a kid's birthday party, something along those lines where you can send through the app like, oh, hey, I'm having this party or I'm having a group of friends. Could you bring your recruitment center so we can have an event? I think that could be really, really useful and just kind of spread the recruitment center. But I do want a physical location eventually.
Cool. Actually, I would like to ask the community, please answer in the comments. Do you like the idea that Pierre just explained about you requesting? Like, hey, what about if you this Thursday I can request, uh, like the recruitment center to come to me in this place or something like that? Does that make sense? Please, while we wait to the answers, to show you how the community matters. So, first up, can you help Raimi? Oh, wait, this one.
Rami wants you to say his name. He wants a shout out. That's hilarious.
Cool.
Well, I
There
can
you go,
do
everyone.
I can do shout outs on my channel.
There you go. And what do you think about that, Forza? Do you think having a physical location would be your way, or being moving like all around San Antonio, finding these parks and weird places? I don't know, an abandoned parking lot. Yeah, I don't know what you can find out there if you search.
So I think the ideal would be to have a place, and you can also still travel. But I think that kind of I see this as being similar to like paintball or something like that, and those places they set up some amazing spots, and they know it's fun. Oh, you know what would be fun is if we put a egg crate here, or we put a this there, and then they create it, and then it works well. And I think similarly, if you had some really cool land, uh, you could make something best, like really good. But I don't have land.
Look, actually, people are just getting involved in the conversation. I'm just hitting one of Justin, but there's a lot of comments saying, hey, there should be an RC in the US. Like, I requested, and there's this little truck coming to you saying, yeah, here's your recruitment center. So go on and play I Can Wait or something like that. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what you person fears think, but that's the idea of this community. The idea of recruitment centers is an idea. You owners can decide a lot of stuff, but getting the community involved will actually create the end the end experience, right? I don't know. What do you think about that? First,
I mean, like I said like I said before, the community will certainly determine how a lot of things work. I like the idea of an RV. That would be kind of funny with a nice like the Bone gaming wrap on the side. I think that could be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, some of these other saying like the request idea makes sense. I thought it made sense, but I also, like I said, I want a physical location too. So it will certainly depend on what the community likes and what ends up working once we actually get the gear and start trying stuff out.
cool. Now let's head up into a different direction. Please, everyone in the community, start just throwing your questions. I will try to read them all and address them. Uh, just write it. I will keep this way. What can you recommend to someone, any more peers or Forza? I believe Forza is having trouble with his connection, but if you can hear this, what can you recommend to someone that it's planning to have a recruitment center? Because there's a lot of users, but there's also people that it's thinking, what if I can start my recruitment center in, I don't know, Nevada, that there's no one there. Well, the world is big, and I don't want to tell them because I will look like a salesman, and I don't want to be that guy. So, what can you tell them to someone that is thinking about having a recruitment center? What they need, what they're committing to. What do you think?
Well, I think that I would say offer a bunch of stuff for free first, but like as a discount. Say, hey, I'm doing a big event. It's $10 off, which makes it free for everyone. Or your first game is free. That's an easy way with games to get a lot of publicity to a business. It's been used for forever. And it gets a lot of people in the door. And then once they experience it and enjoy it, they say, oh, yeah, some say I'll just come to the next free thing, but some say, yeah, I'll.
Oh, he's gonna go. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you're muted. Automatically muted. Wait, let me help there. There you go.
I'm moving around to see if there's better places with better reception.
But before of how starting it, I meant more like if I decide to get one recruitment center, what skill should I have? What would I be committed to in your perspective?
So what, like salesman skills or business skills? Is that what you're talking about?
No, maybe like let's assume I have 25 years old. I'm gonna stay with. I'm gonna change San Francisco. I live in San Francisco. I'm going to college or whatever, and I'm thinking, I can have my own recruitment centers. You're already owner, so I'm that guy. What can you tell me? Like, yeah, get a recruitment center if you're willing to what? What do you think this is gonna be about? Administrating and running it.
I would say if you're social, is one. That's not. You don't have to be social. There's other ways to do it, but I'd say that if you're social, go for it. Like it's gonna be, a way to make friends. It's gonna be a way to use your gift of making friends, and so I think that it'll be a pretty easy. This is the easiest way to monetize a gaming type thing like this. This is going to be so much easier than so much less overhead cost than something like paintball or any of those things. It's going to be cheaper for your friends. It's going to be cheaper or I guess your clients, but they'll probably start out with your clients being your friends. So if you're social, I'd say do it.
And one thing that everyone needs to know is that at the end, the Bone app will drive people into recruitment centers. Therefore, for example, in this case, first in San Antonio, he doesn't have to make marketing because the people that it's already playing the bone, they will see the recruitment center, the only place where they can play, or a few places where they can play. Um, I see here people talking about the UK. I'm just gonna show it, Craig. Uh, what about will we ever be there? Yeah, I believe that as long as we have a community, as long as it start growing, someone will take the leap and have their first recruitment center. Because what we're trying to do or build with this model is to be as cheap as possible. As we as developers, we do not intend to win money each time we sell recruitment centers. It's just the idea of get a lot of gears, get an organization skills, and go therefore and do it. There's a lot of people in UK, so yeah, we're just waiting, and we will end up targeting. As you can see here, well, there's a lot of people in United Kingdom. I cannot zoom more that because it's an image, but we will get there sooner than later. Remember that we're planning to release the game next year, like full. So we have time. We still have time to develop recruitment centers around the world. Oh, he's really excited. And cool.
Another thing I was just thinking about is, if someone wanted to just start out, buying 4 sets, that's a lot cheaper, to get 4 sets. And even though you wouldn't be an official recruitment center, if you could still start some basic games and, with some friends. And as you develop a community that loves the game and more people that want to play, you're going to start running into people that say, oh yeah, I have the money to buy that. And you're like,
Mhm.
oh, I didn't even know you had money. And they're like, sure, yeah, I'll buy a whole recruitment center, let's go in together, and here, I'll pay for it, you run it. That there's a lot of people out there that exist like that. You don't know where they are. It could be one of your best friends that you don't realize, because they're not talking about it. But when you start, then that's when those guys kind of pop up.
And that's
Cool.
when I think it ties into what you were saying earlier, Forza, about doing kind of the free thing, or even just going out with some of the gear and just kind of having a little like booth or something where you're like, hey, come try this. And then if you enjoy it, here's the information to download the app and get more involved and stuff. I think that's especially, I think that seeing people using the gear is going to be one of the big things that kind of push the interest in it. So I certainly think that as a recruitment center owner, being willing to go out and just let people try the gear, give a short tutorial, and then have them experience it is going to be a great thing that'll really boost interest in the game and boost interest in your recruitment center specifically.
And following that thought, Pierce, if you can create any kind of game mode right now, I mean, we already talked about kind of a card thing game mode, but if it has to be done within a month, for example, and you have the gear, which game mode do you think your recruitment center will have? But I'm just gonna say words like, yeah, I want a battle royale. I also want duels. I also want. What do you think? Or will you push at the beginning of the game mode?
I mean, like I said before, I'm really interested in the quests. So I think the player versus environment, whether it's the boss battle or even just kind of a scavenger hunt sort of thing, where find this many of this resource, find this many of that resource, and even if there is a GPS element that actually takes you around like the town that the recruitment center is based in, I think that could be pretty cool and would also give possibilities of kind of like Pokemon Go does with their business promotions and, hey, we could have your business be part of our quest or whatever. I think that could be a possibility, but also I just think the quest ideas could be really cool and really creative, especially if they use the location that the recruitment centers are based in.
Let's before you answer kind of the same question, for example, can you in the community tell us what are you expecting more, PvP content or PvE content? Like just write PvP or PvE. What are you looking for? I know most of you will say both, but try just to, if you can only have one, what is better for you. Oh, and you first, what game modes are you thinking you will push at the beginning? Probably any
So
game mode is allowed.
so first talk about PvP versus PvE.
No, no, no. Like the community, like they can write what
Oh,
they're.
got it. Okay.
But you as a recruitment owner, you want to push what kind of game mode at the beginning?
Okay, so my answer is going to be a little bit more complex because I've got several different modes, different things I'm interested in. So there's my personal interest, there's the interest in the bone succeeding, and there's the interest in my YouTube channel succeeding. So I've got three different, and each one of them I feel like has different desires. So as far as the bone succeeding, I'm most excited about battle royale, and not even like I've told you this, Mark. I think even just cutting the magic, just having a whole thing that's just real simple. You just got a gun, you shoot each other, but you've got the GPS set up with the radiation zone. I think that it's just going to be so simple, but it is something that people will talk about. Oh yeah, I played battle royale in real
And
life
how
the
big?
other.
How big is that? How big? Like, tell me the arena you are imagining. Imagining. It's like I
I,
will take a football stadium or a complete forest, or it's like no, no, no. I will go into something smaller.
I would say that y'all would program it to where people could choose. So if let's say I take people to my parents' property, it's 50 acres. We just put it that in the map, and that's the map, and it's got creeks running through it, it's got mountains, it's got cliffs to fall off of, it's got all this stuff, and so people would be like in the wild, and it
Yeah,
would be so crazy.
yeah.
But then that's unrealistic for most people. So you'd set it up to where they a recruitment center could just do a small map in like this park and say, okay, this park is. But just like in a normal battle royale game, the the radiation zone would be randomized. So even if you played in the same map, the same real part of the world over and over again, every game would be different because the radiation zone would shrink in a different part of that map depending on the randomization of each time you played. And so it's just so simple. And people would talk. They talk to their friends. Yeah, I played battle royale in real life the other day. It was crazy. And they'd be like, "Are you serious? That's a thing?" And they're like, "Yeah, you watch it on YouTube, And so I think it would make the bone as a technology grow the fastest with the least amount of work. So that's my
Yeah.
answer for the bone succeeding. For my YouTube channel, hold on, my
You
okay. Can y'all?
run out of battery, probably.
Yeah, it did. I'm falling apart. Bad internet, bad audio. Can y'all can hear me okay though?
Yeah.
Um, so for the YouTube channel, I think what y'all have is already gonna be amazing. The magic stuff is gonna be perfect. It's gonna be it's intriguing. Like even the one gameplay video I did where it showed it switched between camera to first person shooting the magic. I think that doing that, but then also I was telling my friends, I was like, it would not be that hard to make the drone footage have the HP bars, the hit point bars of each person as it showed the aerial view. I mean,
Yeah.
it would take some editing, but we could probably do that pretty consistently. And that would just look so awesome, and that would look awesome for battle royale, but it would also look good for, but maybe we could even throw in some magic spells in there as well as people, shoot. Who knows? The editors, we could decide on how much work we want to do, but I think the magic is definitely intriguing. And then me personally, I love PvP. Probably, I love the dynamic of it. I love the idea of MOBA.
Nova
I
is
like
another one.
I like objectives. And so if it was even something where we could create like a zone, like if you get to this zone, you're trying to capture it. And if you capture it, then you get a plus 20
Kind of
defense.
king of the hill.
Kind of the king of the hill, but there's different objectives, and your team needs to decide, do we want to put 3 people to take over this objective and 2 people here and 2 people here, or do we want to really focus on just 2 objectives and let the other team just have the other one. And so you've got those different things, and maybe, I mean, if you could do something like MOBA, it would be out of this world. I mean, I can't even imagine. But if you could do something to where people could set up lanes, and you've got these different roles, and you're trying to push towers, I don't even know what that would look like, but it would be insane. It would be insane to be able to play essentially League of Legends, where you're the
In
actual person on your team, and you're building to be a damage dealer, and your other guy's going to be a tank, and by the end game I need to make sure I'm a really high damage dealer, because he's going to defend me when we start doing team battles and push towards their nexus. That would be insane. I don't know if y'all could even do something like that, but
actually, yeah, it's our commitment. We will get there because right now we have this one unique game, and I know it. But this is bigger. The promise is about having superpowers, not about having a wand, not about even having a headset. It's about having superpowers in real life. In tech will evolve. In the promise will be each day better. Well, we will get there sooner than later, totally. So everyone that it's out there, please throw questions right now. And while you do so, because if there are no questions, I believe we can stop now about recruitment centers and stuff. Just as a quick reminder, so the everything that we just made about creating game modes is the challenge that you will have to face tomorrow. We want to hear your crazy idea. How can you imagine this? So us as developers can plan, develop the technology and software to make that happen. So tomorrow we will have this challenge. It will last until Thursday, and we will release it on the closing party. The winners, remember, you winners will have free access passes in selected city to recruitment centers under development, meaning maybe it can be Versus Recruitment Center or Peace Recruitment Center somewhere in Indiana and Massachusetts, depending. We will be moving around America, well, in this one in the U.S. So don't forget don't forget to see them tomorrow. Um, let me. Okay, so like if you get hit with a spell, how do you feel it? Feel it like in a harm way? Like can you get hurt with it? No, you cannot. Everything is done with UI and effects and stuff. You will not feel it. And let me explain you why, Craig. So we can create vests that has a lot of motors and electronics that can replicate the idea of you being hit. And we can do it so extremely hard that you can actually get hurt. We don't want to do that because it will increase the price so much that you will end up paying for that. And I know that sounds amazing, but also we need to find this balance between the great idea and the technology costs because no one want to pay, I don't know, $100 for one match. It's like, no, I want to pay a couple of bucks, have a lot of matches, and that's it. And the technology is not there. So having the idea of filling it is too expensive with the technology that we have right now. So therefore is not available. Now it doesn't mean that in the future, it will not happen. It could, but just not right now. I hope I answered that one.
And Mark, I'm not sure. I know that at least you've said that there is like haptics in the wand. When you get hit, is there a vibration of any kind, or?
Yeah, you have haptics in the headset and in the wand, and you will know, feel, and hear when you get hit and stuff. But it's not the same. Like someone hit my leg, I feel it in my leg, because you have nothing in your leg. That's true, Justin. Um, yeah, well, that it's. I will answer that if you want personally, like written, because it's kind of complex, and we don't have so much time to answer that that low question. But I will be. I will gladly answer it. Anyone else? If not, um, Pierce, first, you want to add something else before we go? First, was
Uh,
like, no, I'm done.
I'm very excited to see where this goes. I've been involved for a while. Watching this grow has been great. Watching the campaign succeed has been amazing. Just a few more days left, and then we move on to making this even closer to making this a reality. So I'm very excited.
True. Quick reminder before you unmute yourself, Forza. So just to let you know, I'm not kidding. There are four caster gears left at 149. At 50, it ends. It's the cheapest way we can go. That's the most units we can handle at that price. There are four left. So if you haven't gotten yours and you're waiting to the end, well, probably the end is now. There are 7 days left. If you wait until the end, they cannot be more in stock, and we cannot do nothing. That was a special launching price. So first, do you want to add something else?
Um, I don't know if I have. I mean, I have lots of thoughts, but I don't have anything that's like this is really important for everyone to hear right now. Obviously, if you have not watched my interview with Rod or my interview with you, Mark, I asked y'all a lot of my questions and a lot of my big ideas in those videos. And they're really condensed. So if y'all haven't seen those, I would recommend watching them, because I think that I know a lot of my friends said, well, it was those videos that made it was the first video that they thought, oh, this is a cool idea. And it was the video with Rod that they said, oh, this is going to go places. And then the first video didn't convince them, but the video with Rod did. And so I think, I don't know, I would say that those are a pretty compact way to get a ton of information about kind of how y'all are going to change the world in the gaming world.
Well, that's how all we are going to change it. It's not about us developers. If we don't have recruitment centers, there's nothing. If you don't have community, there's nothing. So we're only placing actually the technology and the basis. But if we want to have superpowers in real life, it's a collaborative thing to make, because it's in real life, and real life needs people in organization. Cool. Well, if there's no questions, we're already been like 15 minutes out there. Thank you, everyone, for watching this. Special thanks to Arisa. There is modding YouTube. There's always there, like helping and stuff. Pierce, Fuerza, was a pleasure as always. Thank you for taking the time to talk to your community, also to explain them like the future of how you're gonna administrate everything else. If there's nothing else, well, thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye.